Hey guys, it's me, it's Cujo, and this is your Scum Nation review of Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. First off, I want to talk about this video before I do the review. I have put this video uncut from the start of the round up until the end. The reason why I did that is because I made it through without being spotted, and if I just told people I did that and split the video up one way or another, I'm going to have somebody come at me and tell me I didn't do it, and then I'm going to have to prove them wrong again. But this is the full video. It's uncut, so it's not going to be a full 11-minute thing, but if you want to go see the achievement at the end, please watch the whole thing. One of the things that I love about Metal Gear Solid is that it revolutionizes the way the stealth genre was. It basically created it. Hideo Kojima is one twisted, sick, mental guy that has all of these visions of mercenary shit, and he just puts it down on paper and makes this amazing world that we've all come to love. Even though that sometimes the story is real crazy and just fucking riding and all of that. Well, I digress with the Metal Gear Solid 2 stuff. The controls feel very, very smooth. It's going to remind you a lot of how Peace Walker was. So if you haven't played Peace Walker yet, or if this is your first, I should say, if you haven't played Peace Walker yet, the story may feel a little bit foreign because this takes place directly after the events of Peace Walker. Number two, if this is going to be your first time jumping into this game as far as playing the series Metal Gear altogether, you need to put the sticks down, take 3 steps back, do a 180, go to the store and get the HD collection and start playing, because you're not going to know anything of what's going on in this world whatsoever. Hideo was speaking about trying to make this more sandbox. The game really does feel like that. It feels almost like, I don't want to necessarily compare it to Grand Theft Auto, but there's really nothing else that you can compare it to. It's a very, very good looking game, and then you have the ability to do just about anything. For instance, you can get inside of vehicles. The AI is very smart, so pretty much you need to be very careful on how you're hiding or the way that you're approaching a particular mission, because they have a sight of you now and they can definitely spot you what's going on regardless if you're hiding in or where. That's what that little white bar represents. That guy's looking at me through the windshield and he's like, wait, this doesn't look right, kind of deal. So you definitely have to be aware of your surroundings, and especially if you got AI around, you have to be extremely careful, because if that alert ends up going up, you're totally screwed, because everybody and their mom is going to come after you. You also have to be careful of cameras, just like in every other Metal Gear game. The only difference is now, like I was saying, that the AI is so intelligent that when you take out a camera, they send out like an APB to search the area. So then you'll have to be wary of groups coming around. The game looks absolutely amazing. I think that the face structures and the way that the characters look, for it being a cross-gen type of engine, they look fantastic. Some of the environment may not look all that great, but the lighting is amazing. Here, let's take this guy down.
CQC is effective for dealing. You can now either interrogate him, knock him out, or kill him. His life is in your hands.
You notice that Miller is back, and he's the one that's talking to you through the headset. So now, when you end up talking to Miller, you can talk to him at any time, and he just gives you directions about the game.
Spit it out.
Interrogations look exactly the same, how they did in previous years. It started in Metal Gear Solid 3 when you were actually using knives. You could hold them up with pistols in Metal Gear Solid 2. That's where it started from. All of that still transfers into this game. You gotta be careful of where you end up putting bodies. You definitely have to hide them. The AI is smart. There's not very much more I can say about that. I mean, even I can't say that enough, I should say, because if they find bodies laying around or if they're dead, you'll have alerts instantly and they'll come around and just destroy your world. People might say that the game is very short, and that's okay if it's very short. I mean, it sucks that it's short, but what people are neglecting to mention about the game is that there's other maps that you can do. Basically, they all take place on this same large map, but they're like side missions that you can end up doing. So what I'm thinking is that when Phantom Pain actually ends up coming out, each section of the board, or for instance, like this is Omega Base, and then if you're in a desert base somewhere, how he was saying you can come to and from different locations. Each location is going to have its own little, their own little mini side quests for you to do, or side missions that they like to call them. This particular stage, I believe, has 5, including this one. Or I should say, yeah, 5 including this one that you can do. So if you're going to be somebody that's very stealthy, then yeah, you're going to use a lot of time and you're going to play a lot of time in the game. If you're going to be one of those run and kill guys like they had in a different video where some guy beat it in 10 minutes, then yeah, you can go through. But if you're going to play Metal Gear, you're going to want to play it stealthily. You're not want to It's not a type of run and gun game even though you have that particular option this time around. When I first did my first playthrough, I probably played maybe, I'd say somewhere between an hour and 15 minutes when I did the first round. I was caught twice, but I was still given an A rating, so it wasn't too bad. Um, the the way that the levels are laid out is that the way, I shouldn't say the way the levels are laid out, but the way that Kojima presents the levels to you, there's so many options and so many different ways for you to approach a particular scenario. He also makes it difficult in the sense where, unlike how this particular mission is where they're like, hey, you got to go in this direction and try to find it, some missions require you to listen to audio tapes, so you have to actually listen to what's going on in the background of the tapes and then figure out exactly where that is on the map. And that's going to take some time, especially if it's your first go around. You're definitely going to be listening to that tape a lot, like I was doing in the live stream, and then at the same time excuse me, and then at the same time trying to find out where the hell it is. So it is hard in that particular sense. The camera angles are also very difficult. You'll notice if you're in tight corners or tight situations and you're trying to peek over, you're not always going to have that option to peek over. I mean, the option will come up, but when you end up trying to do the movement, the camera angle doesn't really move too much, so you can't really see all that well. And that increases the level of difficulty, especially if guards are walking down hallways, or you're trying to evade from them because you have a whole group of them trying to find you. It can be extremely difficult at times because of the camera angle. Overall, I feel that the game was very well put together. It looks amazing, like I said before, for a cross-chain game. Depending on how you play the game, if you play it fast, if you play it slow, it's definitely going to be one of those, like, maybe I can do this way, or maybe I can do it differently. That you have that option here because of that sandbox element, and it's very refreshing, especially for a Metal Gear that's usually a linear type of game. For you to have the freedom to go and approach it however you want to and do whatever you basically want is definitely a breath of fresh air for the franchise. This was the evolution that the stealth genre needed, was to go to the sandbox type of level, and it just feels amazing. It's refreshing. I really love the game. Even though it's considered a glorified demo, if you're a huge Metal Gear Solid fan, you're definitely going to go pick it up and play it. I'd have to probably give it, I'd say I'd give it about an 8, 7.5. I'll give it a 7.5. It's average. What really pisses me off is that there's not the full game, and it leaves you that full taste in your mouth that you want more. Even with the side missions, it's like, you want to have a little bit more of a variety of where you're going, like how the big game is. So Kojima, if you're saying that this game is full-blown, nobody's going to be able to beat it because there's so much shit, bring it on, because people will say that about Skyrim, and Skyrim's a pretty huge fucking world. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please watch it till the end if you guys want to check out the achievement. Thank you so much for your time. Check us out, facebook.com/groups/SkumNation. Check out the YouTube Skum Nation channel. And also, don't forget about our top 5 monsters of the week. Send in your clips. We need them, baby. We need them. Let's pop it off. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.